How are we
Sorry.
doing this intro? Okay, so yeah, I can actually check. I can read without fucking with the screen, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Should I host then? Because I have the document and such.
Yeah, for sharing stuff, yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Fuck, then what am I supposed to say for the intro? Hold on.
I can kick us
Okay.
off.
No, I got it.
All
I
right,
got
all
it.
right.
Have you started?
I've been started.
I can cut this out. Hey guys, welcome to the Scalar Vector Podcast, episode number 4. I know last time we were very proud of starting our bi-weekly schedule uploads, and we broke that rule on the on the second upload.
Couldn't
So
make a streak of 3.
yeah,
It's okay.
so apologies. Walker and I were bound by midterms, as I'm sure many of us have been over the most recent days. But with reading week coming up, we're through. We made it, so
Yeah,
we're happy to get this episode filmed for you
not gonna
guys.
lie, I didn't have any midterms.
You didn't have any midterms?
No,
The
my
fuck?
first one is on like the 3rd of March.
Bro, I had like 4. I had like 4.
Sucks for
I
you.
actually I had exactly 4, but they were in pairs. So I had a day with 2 midterms and another day with 2. It
That
wasn't
sounds like fun.
wasn't nice, but I had this in the back of my head this episode. That was the only thing that got me through.
Yeah, so this is gonna be a bit more miscellaneous. We don't really have like a topic. We were trying to have sort of like a topic that we can go through for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and really dive deep. But we don't have our shit together right now, so that's not the case. But
Yeah.
Alex, you had a topic you wanted to bring up.
Well, first, yeah, our topics today are pretty gaseous. They're not very solid. Anyways, uh quick thing I wanted to start this episode with.
Okay.
We wanted to bring this up last time when it was, I guess, more relevant, but it's celebrating the anniversary of something, a death, actually. And the key word that I used there was celebrating. We just wanted to give a shout out at the start of this episode to Mike Sloan. So I wanted to share this quick story. Early September in 2019, so we go back way long time. This guy, Mike Sloan, in his 50s, was diagnosed with anaplastic thyroid cancer. Now, you may have your own experiences, family members, friends who've been diagnosed with thyroid cancer, but this specific version, I don't know, version, this specific variant, I don't know what to call it, but um, anaplastic thyroid cancer, the survival rate's only about 1.5%, and the life expectancy is approximately 4 months. So the odds weren't good for him. But in facing these odds, Mike he just said he just refused all chemotherapy treatments and he opted in for MAID, or medical assistance in death. That's the official term for it. I'm pretty sure assisted suicide was definitely cut down in the PR meetings.
Yeah, I
So
think it's called euthanasia
MAID.
now.
Sorry,
Euthanasia.
euthanasia.
Yeah,
Well,
that might be what it's called.
regardless, in the article I was reading, they refer to it as MAID, but
Yeah,
um, but in doing so, yeah, he met a doctor. He set up. He had the ways to I guess, yeah, induce death, but he ended up living 6 months past the expected death. So about 10 months later, he was still alive and kicking. He was still hacking darts, shotgunning brews, doing his thing. And he actually wanted to reach out to a reporter for a local news network here in Toronto because he said, okay, I've made it past this point, but I still am going to die. I want to reach out and share my story with you guys. So he got his story out to us. That's how it reached me. And his whole message was, yeah, I'm dying, but I'm choosing my way out. It's not going to be painful. Otherwise, the cancer would literally choke him to death. The tumor would grow until he died. So he picked his way out, And his whole message is, I want to just celebrate. I don't want people to mourn my death. This is just going to be the natural progression of life. And he spent the last, I'd say, year of his life just banging out fire tweets and just hanging out with friends.
Do you have any of his tweets, by the way?
I don't, but I do want to share his obituary and some of his final exits.
Okay.
So I'll share my screen here. Can you see?
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
So this is his official obituary that was posted online. It took place, or I think they celebrated the anniversary this year online, but specifically what he wrote was, Mike insisted that his death not be viewed as sad, but as a natural progression of life itself. Friends and acquaintances are invited to attend his funeral at O'Neill Funeral Home in London on said date, with visitation hours at 11. So the interesting thing about that is Mike actually wrote that himself with a blank thing where the date was. So he had been planning this for a long time, but since he survived for so long, it pushed the date further and further until about January of this year. So died last year, and then I guess they put together the arrangements for now. But I just want to show you guys. There's the legend himself right there. Actually, I remember one of his funnier tweets was I think he said something like, if I'm dying this year, I won't have to worry about putting on snow tires. Just to give you the kind of caliber of dark humor this guy spat. But hold on. There's his friend, God bless. I think his friend was there when he passed. He just held his hand, and he described it as like no pain. I couldn't even tell when he passed. It was just silent. So
Wow.
God bless. But here's the clip they posted of. There's his friend spreading his ashes in the memorial garden that was dedicated to him, and there's his favorite beer next to a Molson Dry.
I can't believe I just said pouring one out for nature about that clip as he was scrolling through. At least there's a beer there too.
Sorry?
At least there's a beer there too.
I know, I was like, this guy.
Did they leave it there, or did they pour it on the ashes?
Sorry?
Did they leave it there, or did they pour it on the ashes? I don't know what he would have wanted.
He poured the ashes next to the beer in this memorial garden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, God bless. Gotta give a shout out to Mike Sloan. I think, you know what? I don't want to spit misinformation. There's a charity I wanted to bring up, but I don't have it on the top of my head, and I'm just gonna save myself the embarrassment.
Yeah, we'll leave that for Bro Brody. How can I? Okay, close your stream. There we go.
God, that was such a stupid segment.
Nah, that segment was funny as shit though. I might have just fucked it up with. Yeah, I need to resize the OBS, but that was intentional. Keep going.
It's okay. We can cut this out.
No, we don't. We don't even need to cut this out. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, and also, there's another. I think there's a. You know how you can have like park benches named after obituaries. There's like a rock in some London Park that says, "Hi, I'm Mike Sloan. You may remember me from social media platforms such as Twitter and Grindr."
What a legend.
So, yeah, what a legend. When I heard the story, it brought a smile to my face. I was like, you know what? That's solid. Seems like a good outlook on life.
Yeah. No, I hope I embrace death the same way.
Yeah.
But not anytime soon.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not sad. I think he passed in his early 50s. So not the longest life, but he seemed happy with it. He chose his way out.
Yeah, that's good.
And just for some context, we didn't want to bring this up last episode because we were talking about dry January, not drinking, and talking about like the advantage of that. And it just seemed kind of weird to bring up Mike Sloan and be like, yeah, this guy's fucking
knocking back
shotgunning brews and hacking darts in his last days. It just seemed kind of too vulgar. So we're a little bit off of the anniversary, but the message is all the same.
Mm-hmm. Plus, we're never on time for anything, so
Yeah, exactly. I
Get
mean,
used to
we're
it.
already the episode's like in general. So,
Yeah.
um, so like he spent his last days just hanging out with friends. Um, we were thinking, well, hey, he spent his last days hanging out pre-pandemic, but over the last year, I guess keeping in touch with friends has been a little bit tough, especially for university people who have friends from out of all over the place, all over the province, all over the state, wherever you are. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about how honestly I have to be front. It kind of fucking I don't want to talk to my friends. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
I don't want to reach out to them. I don't want to stay in touch. And I don't mean that in any kind of disrespectful way. I miss them, but it's more so the ways that we do so is just kind of weak. It just kind of feels too much like a glass screen between us.
Well, that's because it is. But yeah, nice segue by the way. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. It's really hard to keep in touch with people right now. But it's also really important too. Like, I don't know. I go insane slowly, and then I call a friend and talk for an hour, and it's like I feel so much better. And
Yeah, you feel so
yeah,
much better after calling them, but then uh, mostly in spending a year in hindsight of the last year, I have only talked to some of my closest friends, maybe for like an hour long call every couple months, right? Because I mean, you can text them. We have Snapchat. You know, it's very passive communication, and I don't know. I'll start off with a just a hard experience, or not hard as in difficult, but substantial,
concrete.
concrete, solid, not gaseous.
Exactly.
So last Monday on the 8th, one of my friends celebrated a birthday. Woo! She joined the 21 Club alongside me and some other people.
Hmm.
But
I'll be there soon.
uh, you'll be there soon, actually. Yeah, in a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
so exciting.
Um, but yeah, uh, so I remember about a week before she texted me like, "Hey, I want a fucking Discord call with you and all the other people that matter." I'm like, "Okay, fuck." So that accounts for about 8 people. Um, big big-ish friend group. But to be honest, I haven't talked to like I talked to maybe 2 of them throughout the entire break. And so we got into this group call on Monday, and it was all right, you know, just a big video call. Everyone's just saying hi, hey, what's up? But it's not the same as being in a room where you can talk to people one on one.
Yeah, it's really hard to have conversations in those groups.
Yeah, because everyone is just staring at each other's screen, and you can't really like split off. Or it
Yeah,
was, and despite me being really happy, some of those people they were like my roommates that I hadn't seen in since we moved out, and I hadn't talked to them. Really close friends of mine. I was in my head thinking about it before. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome. But then you get there, and it was just kind of cold. That's how I'd describe it. You know,
yeah, it's
it
awkward.
was like,
I've been to a couple Discord parties. One that a family friend of mine hosted, so I was with like about 20 or so of us, and I didn't really know anyone. And then one that
oh,
I hosted,
that's even weirder then.
yeah, that one honestly, that one was kind of fun. Just because like I didn't know everyone, and so many people there were just open to just like shooting the shit and getting to know new people. But like the
Oh
rooms
wait,
were really confusing.
was that the one with the lightsaber guy
Uh,
or the
yeah, the guy that works
hiring
at
coordinator for?
oh, where did he work? What's it called again? Hacksmith Industries. They like make cool sci-fi stuff real, like Captain America's shield. Anyways, he was a cool guy. Um, but there was a lot of like we had games planned, and it was like you could either socialize or play the game. It's hard to socialize while playing the game. So
Yeah,
then it was weird because you're in a group, you're in like a room of 10 people, but you can't really have like real conversations with 10 people. Like a group of 10 doesn't work. And you can't split off because everyone still hears you. So
yeah, that's the weirdest part.
it's
And
like
the
it's
awkward silences are tough.
yeah. It's
But
like it's the best you could do, but it's a shame. It's not it doesn't work fully.
yeah, And that's what really brought me down about the whole experience. Is like you're reaching and you're reaching, and it's just not there. You know, the fire's not there.
Yeah,
Like
it's not the
we
same.
talked for about an hour, and then we played Scriblio,
That was a
which
good one.
I'd never played before. But we played Pintarilla, like the
They're the
fancy
same thing,
Spanish version.
right?
But yeah, we played that for another hour, and it was cool. But then I when it ended and we all said bye, I didn't feel like I talked to my friends.
Yeah,
Like before and after the level of contact or connection, that's the word. The level of connection I had with those people was the same before and after. Just nothing,
damn.
you know.
Yeah, I
And
feel
that
that.
yeah. And if I were to see them in person, I feel like it would be instant, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
It's nice, it's better than nothing, but it doesn't work.
I'm definitely giving my friends a hug once I see them in person.
Yeah. Have you had to
Just to
do
be like,
any like group labs and shit
yeah.
for school? Probably with randos, right?
Um, some yes, some were a group that I had last year or last semester, and I really liked.
Right.
Yeah,
But they weren't like your friends, they're just like classmates you know well.
yeah.
I see.
It's
Yeah, and
it's good.
how'd you find working with them?
Um, it's not as good as getting to be in person with them and like, just bang out a lab over an afternoon type thing. Um, but it's still better than nothing. It's still like, oh my God, new human contact. I fucking like it was good for that reason, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, actually recently um I noticed there's this one so I'm stupid. I'm a computer science guy, but I'm also taking an agriculture minor.
The
And so
synergy.
yeah,
The
the synergy.
synergy.
So this semester happens to be weird in that most of my courses are like plant biology and like crop science and shit. And I'm not a fucking biochemistry kid. I've been programming and shit, doing math for most of most of my school career, I guess. So I'm kind of lost in most of my classes. I kind of like yes, I have knowledge from like being a hobbyist, but in actually learning, not so much. But I noticed this one name popped up in two of my classes. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to shoot her an email and say, hey, do you want to study for this homework thing that we have? And she said, yeah, we met in a Zoom call and it was cool. It's not, it's something that would ever happen in, I think if I was in person. Like if I noticed a
Yeah.
person in going to both of my lectures, you're in a room of, I don't know, 100 to 200 people. Maybe you're in a smaller class of 50, whatever. You would never reach out to them and be like, do you want to study? I'll
Yeah,
see
unless you're
you
like
in both my
very
lectures.
unless you're like very outgoing and like extroverted. But I
And if
know.
you are, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck
Fuck you.
you.
You know,
Fuck you for
fuck
being
extroverts,
popular
man.
and having friends.
Yeah.
God fucking
Okay, it's
damn.
hard. It would. I'm saying we wouldn't because we
Yeah, no,
fucking
we
wouldn't, and we're too
definitely wouldn't.
scared.
Yeah.
But it was cool, and we just hopped into a Zoom call, and we chatted for a bit, nailed the homework down, and that's it. And now I have not a friend, but definitely someone I can cheat with in the future.
Whoa, what? What kind of cheating with, Alex? Whoa.
We're keeping it PG.
What the
It's not
fuck?
like
We're not keeping this PG.
we're keeping it PG. We're cheating,
I just said
as
pour one out
in
for nature while we watched a video of someone pouring someone's ashes. This is not a PG show.
that's true. That's true. But don't cheat on your partner. That's bad.
No, it is for real.
Regardless. Um, so I guess that's a good plus, but ultimately, nothing will ever substitute real human connection. You
Yeah.
know.
Though I
But
think I think you brought up a point there, which is sort of maybe this is just me, but it seems like it's kind of easier to meet new people when it's online. At least as
oh,
someone that's like a
easily.
little awkward and kind of like anxious around people, usually,
Yeah.
like having this like separation makes it so that I can be more myself sooner. And
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
so
I
there is
get
that.
that. Yeah, and I'm definitely less guarded just being here in my room. When I talk to people, it's yeah, you're right. It is easy to be outgoing. Like when I get split into like random group calls, I usually try to take the initiative, um, because it's easier and you don't have to worry about seeing them again even. That's another total option. Like if something goes wrong or awkward, totally consequenceless.
Yeah. And you could
But
also just dip, be like, oh, sorry, I gotta go 1 sec. And then just, you're gone.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you can make the initial first contact, but then it's kind of meaningless after that, no?
Uh, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I haven't kept in touch with most of those people I met at that one, like, party. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess that's definitely true. Um,
Yeah. I'm definitely looking to meet like other students. I think I'll keep doing that. If I see names or I notice someone's active in the chat, I'll shoot them a message like, "Hey, do you want to study?" That's a new habit I think I'm going to try to keep up.
that's a good idea. I need to study with people.
Yeah. Did you do it? Well, this is my first online semester because I missed one on a work term. But I guess that you didn't have or you didn't try to do that much last fall?
No, I would do stuff a little bit with other group mates from like labs and stuff and projects,
Yeah.
but I certainly didn't reach out to completely new people.
Mhm.
I did reach out to new people to make the groups. Like I saw a group with 4 people in it. I said, "Hey, can I join your group?" That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but no.
It was also weird because I sent an email. I was like, "Greetings, person. I
Yeah.
noticed that your name is in both classes. Would you like to study? Regards."
Regards, Alex Chin.
Yeah. And then she sent an email back that was exactly as formal, but then I respond one okay. With the email etiquette, this is a weird tangent, but
Oh, email etiquette
after
is
after
funny.
she said, "Yeah, let's meet at this time. What's good for you?" I just said, "Oh, sick. Yeah, I'm free at 1. See you then." And I didn't even add like a signature email signature or anything, but then she sent one back with the
Oh, she
formal
kept.
formality.
Oh,
Yeah. So I was just kind of like, okay. But then when I met her in person, it was chill. So I fucking hate the whole email etiquette thing.
yeah.
I
Actually,
just don't
that's
I don't get it.
honestly the whole like online communication with people that you don't know yet is really funny. Because it's like, I remember at the start of the semester with these people that I didn't know at all, I was like writing the most formal, like, we're on the group chat and Messenger, and I'm writing, like, I'm capitalizing my fucking sentences,
Yeah.
punctuation. And then by the end, I'm just like roasting them. Like, it was great. Like, just, like sending fucking
Yeah.
gifs at each other. Like, it's funny to see the progression.
I mean, I get you want to appear like put together with the first email or first reach out, but I always try to imagine like what would I say in person? And I definitely would not I would just be I don't know.
Regards.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a pretty rough person on the outside when my guard is down. I don't really partake in formalities. Like
No, you just
I
say whatever
swear a
comes to
lot.
your mind.
I just kind of say what comes to my mind, and so it's mostly because I just feel like I'm being fake if I'm just trying to say
Yeah, that's true.
be formal. Like it just doesn't feel right to me. I feel such like a cardboard person. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree with that. When I'm speaking to people, I think I'm pretty real. When I'm messaging
Yeah,
though, sometimes I just like I'm over. I don't know. I can. Sometimes I just want to communicate quickly. I don't care about
that's
like.
a big thing too. I don't want to like think about my wording. I just want to just
It's like, what time do you want to study? Please.
yeah, just purely put just all business, just
I'm free these times.
study time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But regardless, we would encourage all students in online settings just reach out. The more people are just intercommunicating, you get yourself a food web, and who knows, maybe you'll meet some new friends.
Yeah. Especially to
Better than
us. Reach
nothing.
out to us.
Exactly. We're lonely. We need new friends.
We do.
Uh,
Okay.
um,
Enough of that.
one more thing I wanted to bring up on this topic was because you said your lab experiences is mostly with new people, or not people that you knew as friends before the class.
Hmm.
But weirdly enough, I'm taking this software design course. It's like the only computer science course I'm taking, but it's basically a third year course where the whole course is you produce software throughout you live through the whole life cycle from its inception, planning, researching, implementation, demo, boom. right? It's supposed to be like your first job like experience, whatever. Um, and in my lab, they let us choose our partners, and literally all all four people. I was like five, but I'm there. All the people there are my friends from Res. Like I've known these people for a few years now, so it's really weird.
Sweet.
In that, yeah, our group gets to skip all the weird, awkward computer
Yeah.
science nerd.
Is it hard to focus and like stay on
It's kind of
task?
hard to focus sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
would think so.
I forgot how to talk to people, so I'm just making dick jokes and shit throughout the whole all our Zoom meetings. I'm like, oh man, you guys see the new PS5, the controller, man? It's awesome. Jerked me off, did my taxes. But yeah, that's the kind of caliber of shit. I'm just rambling. But
Yeah.
it was cool. It's cool. Being in a group with them, I get to it's like I'm hanging out with them, but like I mentioned previously, there's that glass wall. But another element that we didn't mention and that we agreed on consensus was like, do you ever have that like post call depression where
Oh,
you just kind of
you're
realize like,
having a
oh,
good
we're in a
call.
pandemic?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna see these people. Like this is it.
Yeah, like we meet
Yeah.
2 to 3 times a week for about half an hour each, and we shoot the shit, we do our work, and then afterwards we're all just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Says it all right there. Just that exasperated, just shit. I haven't
Yeah.
seen these people in a year.
No, and I don't know. We need to find stuff to occupy the time and like keep us busy. So that's why we have hobbies. And we were gonna talk about hobbies a little bit. Do you think this is a good time to switch over?
Yeah, I'm happy. I've said my piece about
Okay. Yeah.
Zoom.
So in terms of hobbies, well, we've been playing video games, obviously. We're nerds. But
I think okay. I have to slip this in here. It's objectively the best way to spend your time right now.
yeah,
Like
it's
I'm sorry,
well,
but
there's productive
it's just
ways, but it's like the best. You can stay in touch with people. It's like there's no pandemic, in a sense.
yeah.
Like that hasn't changed at all for us.
You can look down on people for playing video games when they have better shit to do, like in a regular setting, in normal times. But
Yeah.
I mean, as of now, what the fuck else are you gonna do?
Like right now, it just helps us stay inside at this point.
Yeah, yeah. It helps you stay inside. Saved me from a lot of boredom. Whatever.
Yeah, and we've
Dee waddy.
it is what it is. But also on top of video games, you've been writing a lot, right? And
Yeah.
I've been practicing the guitar, so we'll talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so I guess, oh man, I guess it's been like 3 years now. Man, I'm dog shit at writing. Holy shit.
No,
But
ask
I've
most
been,
writers. It takes a while to get started.
yeah, okay, yeah, so I've been writing this novel. It's, what would, I guess you'd call it fantasy as the genre? I hate
Yeah,
that
I'd say
word.
it's fantasy.
But, uh, but I've fully committed to it. Like any writers that might be listening might recognize the terms like world building, you know. I'm constructing my plot. I have a main cast of 4 characters, and I'm really trying to hone this into like a good ass story. I'm not just writing like a cop out fan fiction. Like I've been
Yeah, it's
trying to
deep.
be an author.
It's complex. I've been reading some of it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good.
And um, I guess that's you could consider that my hobby, but that's where most of my creative energy goes. My creative effort, I should say, not energy. But a weird thing that's been happening over a pandemic, where you're not drawing inspiration from anything besides like other shows that you've been binging, is, man, I would describe it as like my creative compass has not had a North Star in a very long time. And I end up sitting around in between classes with just like, imagine a compass spinning. And I told you before we went on air is that friggin' I spent an afternoon, I wrote a document on what kind of pets my characters would own. Like just weird shit like that. I wrote flashcards on like how they would play Among Us, you know. It's
Yeah.
almost just like I'm thinking like, oh, this character would definitely be one of these. And I'll just go with that. And I'll end up looking at what I've wrote and I'll be like, what the fuck am I doing? I just wrote about how one of my characters would own a raccoon and what they would name it. And how they met this raccoon that never existed.
How they met? Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And I just feel like an insane person.
I think we're all going a little insane. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. How have you been spending your time here?
Yeah, so been learning guitar. I started about a year ago now. It was what month was it? A few months from now, but last year. I think maybe March, April-ish.
May, March?
Wait, no,
Probably
March.
close to when you got sent home.
Yeah, maybe May actually. Um, but basically, yeah, I moved in with my cousins for work, and they had a guitar. Just thought I'd start playing it. And when I moved back here, I bought a guitar. It's been good. I'm not writing my own songs yet. I'm mostly just listening to music, and if I hear a song with a nice guitar part, or even just a part that I want to play on guitar, I kind of set it aside, put it in like a little playlist,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just play it, and it's a lot of fun, and it's so easy to learn. Okay, maybe not easy, but like any song I've wanted to learn so far, I've been able to find like tabs for it, which is like sheet music. I've been able to find video tutorials of people playing it and like break it down. I can like pause the video and see like what they do with their hands, that kind of thing. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it when I hear you talking about it and how you're like, "Oh, I just learned how to play this song," and you're just fucking around with it. It seems like the biggest bar to entry is just getting the fucking guitar. But
Yeah,
afterwards, yeah, like I've seen you, it just seems very free flow, very just like relaxing thing to do.
yeah,
Just learn
cause
a song, learn the and you're learning the mechanics of it. It's just seems like the perfect hobby.
yeah, it's like it's just something to do with your hands, and I really like it. I don't think the mic picks anything up, which is probably a good thing, cause I'm not that good yet. But like you just sit here and just play it, just like look at the sheet music and try to go along with it. And it's I've had a lot of fun with it. I'm gonna keep doing it. But
Yeah,
also,
it seems like a good way to just like burn an hour, just relax.
yeah, yeah, no, I usually if I'm smart, usually like I'll end the night with some guitar. Like I'll just sit down somewhere, play guitar for like 45 minutes, then brush my teeth and go to bed. And it's a nice like relaxation. Just live in the moment.
Yeah.
'Cause
Anything to avoid watching YouTube for an hour and then going to bed.
oh yeah, and it's so easy, or like Instagram, or you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
Yeah.
Like this has been good, especially since I played band through like I think it was grade 5 until grade 12. So like a long time I was playing music. And when I moved to university, I was so sad that there was no band, there was no like really musical clubs of any kind. I found out later there is like a cafe sort of like you can show up and play your music type thing,
Hmm.
but at that point I had only ever played in a group, so I wasn't really comfortable. Plus no
Yeah,
one
I
wants
guess that is a newer setting.
Plus also no one wants to hear a mediocre oboist play. Like guitar, okay, singing, sure. But
Yeah, there are
an
no
oboe
romantic
is
ideas of
loud.
oboes.
An oboe is loud and piercing, and if it's not played like really nicely, okay, if it's played really nicely, it's beautiful. If it's not, it's just like it just hurts. So I didn't want to put people through that. Um, but yeah, the guitar, it's been my way to like reconnect with music, which is it's been
That's
good.
dope.
It's been
That's
really good.
actually dope. That's something I miss too. Sometimes I get I get I fantasize about if I ever picked up a violin again, if I could ever play it again. Because I only played it for like a few years
Hmm.
in like elementary school, high school type shit. But no, I honestly I have a lot of admiration for anyone that's going for some kind of creative endeavor. I have to say, as a person who's diving and struggling with friggin' writing, trying to construct something good, um, yeah, that's awesome that you've been able to pick up the guitar.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get to the point where I can start like writing and playing my own music, and
Yeah,
we'll see. I might get
that
there
seems
if I
like
keep
a
up with it.
yeah. I have this fascination with I don't know enough artists to be honest, but I've just been trying to learn like, do you find now I'm asking a hypothetical artist, you could answer this too, but do you find like you get more fulfillment from long-term projects, right, where you're creating one thing and really honing it, or do you like just doing random things like I don't know, picking up random songs? In an example like yours,
Okay.
or an example like mine, just writing short stories, or
Yeah.
like what seems more attractive as an artist to you? Like, there's no right answer, I should say, but Do you like longer form projects, shorter term projects? You know, where how deep do you like to dive?
Yeah, so personally, I haven't made much music, but I've made a little bit. You've heard some of it. And I'd say I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Like I do want it to be like really good.
Yeah.
So I'm probably on the more long-term side. Um, and I don't really consider what I'm doing with the guitar right now super creative just yet, just because I'm not creating anything. I'm just playing what I've heard. Um, so I wouldn't say I'm being creative right now, but in general, yeah, the music that I have made, I've wanted to like, I have never been happy with any of the music I've made. I've always felt like it could be better. Like I could have used a better instrument. I could have like,
I think that makes you a good artist, to be honest.
I do too.
I'm gonna throw in my pretentious quote, but I don't know where this from, but well, Gandhi said this.
Gandhi
Fucking
2020.
art is never finished, only abandoned.
Damn.
I'll let that sit. It's
Who the
no,
fuck said this?
Socrates.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like yeah, I agree. I would be a bit of a perfectionist too. That's why I've been picking at this one novel idea, right? I have never switched out of it. I've stayed on this universe I have building in my head, and
Yeah,
even if I want to do like a side project, like write a short story, it's always in universe. Everything has to be towards this one thing.
yeah, and you've never been fuck it. Let's just accelerate the pace, get to the end quicker. Like from the
I'm going very slowly,
from
very
what I've seen,
methodically.
it's gonna take you like 3 books to finish your plot line.
Yeah,
You can agree or
probably.
disagree with that, but
Probably. No, definitely.
yeah,
And it's tough because being a perfectionist and also doing something long form like this, I think there's a lot of ballistics in the writing.
how
And
so?
I should explain that.
Yeah,
Ballistics as in like I'm trying to hit a target that's very far away and I have to account for a lot of things. I have to account for wind, drop, or in writing terms, I guess they would see like foreshadowing, setups, and payoffs, very long term things.
hmm
It's a very far away target that you can't just like go for it. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
what I mean by ballistics.
I forget which writer said this, but I watched an interview, and they said something like they set up the story, they set up the world and all the characters and stuff, and they don't actually like push it into an ending. They kind of just let it flow and then find a natural ending from
Yeah.
within it,
Yeah, I would
which
agree
is
with
cool.
that. That makes sense, as in like you make these characters, and if you make them well enough, the story almost writes itself. Like, what would they
Yeah.
do? Right? You're not gonna try to make this ending and then push a plot line into it, because then that's how you end up with stupid plot holes and
Yeah, it can feel
things that don't make
forced and
sense. Yeah, but
so that'd be
I
cool.
mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd really love to get in touch with other artists of all kinds. People that make um, visual art, music, authors. I would love to meet other writers, but
hmm
no one our age writes
Yeah,
beyond
I'm sure you could
shitty
find
fan
people.
fiction. But um, yeah, I just have this craving for just meeting other people and understanding how they go about their creative process because I think an artist in isolation will always fucking hate themselves. They're always gonna think their work is shit and everything they make is shit. But
Yeah,
you just gotta see other people how they do it and just admire it.
I gotta say, yeah, that is probably the biggest silver lining to me of this pandemic is like you get so much more time to pursue these things. And I
Hmm.
mean, I'm definitely not making the fullest use of my time, which I can work on, but it's nice to like I don't know, man. It must be nice for you as a writer to like finally be allowed to just spend hours alone and just fucking write, you know? Like if you wanted to.
Romantically, that's a nice idea, but when nothing's in your head and you just sit there, like I'm just writer's blocked. I'll spend an hour and write 100 words. It's awful.
Damn.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll like do a bit of a workshop and you can like bounce ideas off of me.
Maybe we
I'll
haven't
give you
done that in a
something.
long time.
Yeah, just
I
'cause
feel
like
like a lot of good ideas came out when I consulted you.
Yeah, just like something, just someone new, you know? Like you could talk about it with anyone, but they're gonna have different experiences and like make it easier for you.
Okay,
So
yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
do that sometime.
Why don't I shotgun a concept to you right now?
Yeah, sure. Sure, let's do it.
So I have this. I'm trying to create these mythical creatures called um, the Lunar Mirror, right? And they're basically the spirits of people that went insane at some event in the past, and they're now immortal and seek to consume the fears of humans. But the caveat is that they're truly after the fears that consumed their final moments in life.
What do you mean they're after? Like they want others to experience that same fear so they can take it?
So that they can almost resolve that trauma from their past. So, for example, um, there's this one particularly strong Lunamere that ends up being a character in the story that she was a little girl that was the last person to succumb to insanity. So she watched everybody fucking her whole family, everybody die, right? This is dark, I should say. Uh but as such, her worst fear is loneliness or being alone in such a horrific situation. And so when she comes back as the strongest of these spirits because she has like the worst fear. And also, as a side note, for anyone who believes in ghosts and paranormal shit, the reason why a lot of ghosts are children, little girls and little boys, is because they're the ones whose spirits have the most unresolved left in our world. Does that make sense? Because they have the most life left, and such they have the most business left
Yeah.
in this world. If I'm 65, if I'm Mike Sloan, fuck it, I'm out.
He doesn't have a
I said
ghost.
everything. I've done everything I had to do. I'm out.
He doesn't
Fucking
need to
kill
haunt
me.
anybody. He's ready.
Yeah, but a kid, they have so many. They have so much curiosity. They have so many questions. They have so much left potential.
Hmm.
So they stay here.
That's cool.
At least that's an idea I have in my head. I don't believe in ghosts, but if they did exist, that's objectively a good hypothesis.
Yeah. So with these Lunamare, it's are you trying to think about like how what caused them to exist? What
Well, no,
caused
not what
the
caused them to
insanity?
exist, but does it make sense that they would seek to so
So are they seeking to resolve the fears or to like taste the fears? You know what I
they
mean?
don't know that. They're just after it. So what would it make more sense if they're seeking to resolve the trauma of their past or inflict it on other people?
I guess.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're viewed by humans in the world as just like, they're just wild beasts that feed on your fears and they give you a horrifying death, like a fucking Dementors or whatever from Harry Potter.
That's a
And
tough
so
one.
and so they attach themselves to humans to and that's another question. Like, would these spirits know? In my head, they don't know that they don't remember their past lives. They're just full of all this angst and trauma, and they just try to inflict it on other people. And the way the way they sustain themselves or happen to sustain themselves is by uh, what's the word? Tormenting human souls or
Okay, so
human beings.
so they inflict it and then they kind of just absorb it and like
Yeah,
assimilate the whatever
it's
the
almost
energy.
like yeah, they're just filling a void.
Okay.
They consume people, but then it doesn't do anything. And I'm thinking a potential way to tie it to character development is like there's this one Lunamere that keeps tormenting one of my main characters, and the way that they discover that a Lunamere resolves its fears, if I could tie it into the character development of that character, it's almost like that spirit becomes a tool to push that character to overcome her own fears. She learns about the spirit, and I don't know. You see how abstract
Okay.
this is, but
I think it
but
could be
that's
cool if they are sentient but like misunderstood in a way like they're tormented and they're constantly suffering. And the only way they can rid themselves of their suffering is by helping someone else with the same issue they had. So they find themselves like naturally drawn to people with similar trauma or people that are going to have similar trauma to them.
okay. That's good.
So that they
Yeah,
can tap in,
because
and if
the
the person's strong
character.
enough, they'll heal both of them, kind of.
Okay. Um, The one problem I have is like the goal of the Lunar Mirror should not be to resolve the fear. If it happens naturally, that's great. But um, um, they are after the same fears, so they would be most attracted to a person that shares the same deepest fears as they had. If that makes sense. That's what you just said. But the main character Raya that happens to be inflicted by this spirit is also she survived a thing where she was like the last of her kind, I guess. But she was the last survivor of some
Yeah.
event. So is this spirit. So there's automatically that connection there. And there is dialogue between the two characters. These Lunar aren't just like wild beasts, although they're viewed that way. They have character complexities and they have personality traits, but they don't necessarily fully know them like what they are. Like I said, they don't have memories of their past lives. They don't know why. They just have this anger, and it's just they just direct it at people. But they're not seeking to solve their own trauma.
Hmm.
Some dead air, but I can hear the gears spinning.
Yeah, no, damn, you can hear them. Gotta grease these fuckers up, eh?
We can cut this out.
No, we don't have to. I mean, okay, well, maybe
When I
some
say
of it,
that,
but
that means I'm never gonna cut it out.
yeah, I mean, you're the one
Monty
editing this
knows never
shit,
to
so
cut shit out.
yeah, Monty, keep this shit rolling. Um, maybe the Luna Mare, all they know is like this feeling they have, so it's they just want everyone to feel the same way they do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It can't be. It might not be rational. It's just like, ah, I'm on fire. Like, I want you to be on fire too, so that you know what it's like and you sympathize with me. Could be something like that. Like maybe they're misunderstood. They hear what people
Yeah,
say about them.
maybe. But I want them to have a malicious attitude about them so that humans fear them for a reason. Humans want to avoid them because they will come after you. Because if it's more of a I'm on fire kind of setting, it's they're more just crazed. But you should fear them because they want to make you suffer.
Yeah, no,
They're
like,
not just you're
oh
not
yeah,
just happen to be in their way.
no, no, I'm thinking like, yeah, exactly. Like they want other people. Like I've been hurt so much. I've been wronged so much. I want everybody to be wronged as much as me because I'm mad about how much I was wronged. It could be sort of that, and like the insanity ties in, so like they're very irrational too,
Yeah.
and they never calm down and think, hey, maybe not everybody needs to suffer, something like that. That doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, I
Do
like that.
Another question though, do we need to know their motivation?
We don't. In fact, the way I have it set is that we learn about their motivation through the character development of Raya because um, what ends up happening is um, we get a lot of flashbacks to Raya as a little girl, and since this spirit was also a little girl, there's kind of like a mix of memories, and she starts to kind of forget what's real and what's not,
Mm.
and she doesn't realize that she can experience the memories of the spirit, right? And I don't know. I need to have it so that she can learn something from that spirit's memories to kind of resolve her own struggles. But
I
do you
think
do
that's
you
a
see
good
where I'm going
idea.
with this? There has to be some kind of discovery that they between the two that they share in common that resolves both of their problems. But in the story, they're working against each other because obviously this is an evil
Yeah.
spirit and she doesn't want to be tormented by the evil spirit, so they fucking hate each other.
I think I think you could do that in a way that makes it so we never need to fully understand the Lunamare. Like we don't need to know what their motives are. We just know we need to know what they do to people. We don't need to know like what causes it exactly. We just need to know that say like Raya fixing her problems somehow also fixes the Lunamares. Like it doesn't need to be like fully understood. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can have an idea of what you want to happen. Um, but I don't think it has to be like concrete and it could be what's this like hard versus soft magic systems, I think, something like that.
Well, yeah, that
Remember
I
you
see
showing
what you mean by
you
that,
showed
but
me
there
showed
there
me a
are
video of
two,
that.
yeah,
Like
hard
you
and
don't
soft
need to
magic
make it. It
systems.
doesn't need to make sense. It could be
Yeah,
mysterious and confusing. as long as it's not like self-contradictory, you know?
Yeah, that's why soft magic systems are the best. A great example of a soft magic system is just the Force,
Yeah, I could
or
do
the
whatever.
fucking
You can fucking project yourself
yeah,
millions of kilometers, light years.
yeah. No, you're right. Maybe I should focus less on hardly defining the spirit in her past and just focus on how the properties of a Lunar Mirror, the traits of a Lunar Mirror can help Raya.
Yeah, like I'd say, I mean, obviously you need to understand what you want from it, but the readers don't. Like it would be better if it was really mysterious and hard to understand. Maybe some
Hmm.
of the things the Lunar says doesn't really make sense until later, you know?
Yeah, I really like that idea
Like,
of creating this mystery as a writer that may or may not get resolved in the future, or maybe for more interested readers, maybe you throw in hints that might
yeah,
resolve it.
or just like out of nowhere, maybe Raya hears in her head, "Where's my mommy? Where's my daddy?" You know? Like,
I
can you
have,
help me
you know
find
what?
them?
I did
Something
I
like
did
that.
end up writing the scene where they're in this library and Raya the chapter starts with a flashback of the little girl and maybe a week up to their deaths. So when everything's good. Um and but Raya thinks she's just reading this book. She's just like really fascinated with the story, right? But she doesn't know that she's really experiencing the memory of the past. And later they discover like, why the fuck were you reading liquid dynamics and water engineering or something? That's what I have.
She was like, "That's not what I read." Oh, that could be
Yeah, and
cool.
she's like, what the fuck? I want this kind of jostling of reality for
Mm.
her.
Yeah, because it could sort of be like what happened to them is happening to her, but
Yes,
she needs to overcome it.
exactly. Yes, that's how I need to tie them together. And another way I have them tied together is that uh, initially, when she was possessed by that spirit, um, they try to get another character to like kill it, or like fucking get an exorcism. But inadvertently, what ends up happening is they destroy the spirit's physical body, and the only way for it to live is to live inside of Raya. So it's
Mm.
almost like they did the opposite. They tied it to her, and then by having the spirit attached to Raya's body, I want to have a. They need to now work together, or I'm putting them in a situation where they need each other, but they don't like each other, but they're forced to work together. So sometimes when Raya is about to get killed, she can use the Lunarmare's power to save herself, right? Because the Lunar doesn't want to die. The Lunar is a parasite, it wants to keep its host alive.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're still conflicting mentally, but they still have the one goal in common of, you know, having a physical body.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So the Lunamare is this parasite that's constantly tormenting her and all the other things we discussed about
Yeah.
their motives. Yeah. But
Good
it's
little
it's
impromptu sesh there.
it's good, yeah, and this is the kind of shit I wish I could discuss with other people, but it is kind of weird. I couldn't just bring this up in conversation. you know.
I'm sure you have friends that I think you could talk to about it. Um, I might take like a little bit of like, priming because I've been with the story for a while now. So I
Almost
kind
a
of already,
year.
yeah, so I'm kind of already like in it. I already sort of, I'm on the same page to a certain degree. But yeah,
Yeah.
you could get people on the same page.
Yeah. It is just a little bit. I guess I'm a bit shy as an artist to want to share it because you
That's fair.
do have to get involved. I can't
Yeah,
just like ask someone to help me discuss and shoot the shit because I mean, like you said, you've invested some time in. I'm basically asking
yeah,
for some investment. Is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, and like not everyone's willing to just give you that investment. Yeah, well, that was good.
Yeah.
We're about an hour in. I think this might be a good time to wrap it up. What do you think?
Yeah. That's cool.
Good.
No, that was actually really. I've never actually. That's the thing. The idea becomes so much more solid when I say it out loud
Yeah, yeah, I see that.
because I give it a thesis, and now maybe I'll sit down at the old desk and write something new.
Yeah, it's the same with music. I know we were gonna stop. I'll just tell this little story. I had a dream, and like for some reason, right at the end of the dream, I had this most vivid like music, music going on in my head, and it was like it was such beautiful music to me, and like I can't remember it anymore. But when I woke up, I actually spent like solid 45, 50 minutes like remembering it, eating breakfast, remember it, and then I went, sat down and started trying to write it. I didn't get it out as well, but it was like now I have that there. I've got like a bit of a melody kind of, so I can go
Hmm.
listen to it now, and it's out there, and that's helped me solidify it. Sort of like how talking about it helps you solidify it.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
that's really cool.
If I can, I'm
Yeah.
gonna recreate that song because it was beautiful, but might not happen.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even fully
In
identify the
that story
instruments.
and the whole Lunar Mirror thing, it's almost like a an idea that exists in the void, and it's so hard to pull it out.
It
But
is.
you know
It's
there's something in there.
yeah. It's the brain's a weird thing, isn't
Yeah, maybe we should you know, I'm not gonna do some research on that. What am I saying?
it? Yeah.
It'll end up like our friggin' IQ talk.
Although I did watch a Netflix explained episode on hallucinogenics or yeah, I think that was it, like LSD type stuff. That
Hmm.
was quite interesting. Highly recommend
Whoa, a
watching
bad
it.
trip?
No, it wasn't even a bad trip. It was like
No, I'm sorry. That's just another documentary I know called Bad Trip where they
yeah.
explore. Oh, that's psychedelics. I'm retarded.
Yeah, no, no. This is it's called Explained. It's on Netflix and just random topics. One of them was psychedelics. Um, and yeah, they talk about like how it like makes new brain connections and stuff, and why it's sort of how you think differently while you're on it. You kind of feel more things start to you see different connections that you didn't see before,
Hmm.
which is interesting because we've reported similar things with like weed and stuff and other other
It
substances
was
too.
definitely like that with shrooms.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know. I think it would be cool to try to write on shrooms or like make music on shrooms.
I wish I did. I wasted that time when I was tripping on the come down. I was always saying like I'm gonna write, and then I just didn't.
Yeah.
I ended up drawing those stupid drawings with the X's and the Y's.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
we'll save that topic for another video. I think it could be cool to talk about though.
yeah.
But yeah.
And I'm sure we have stories that we could share. I could talk for hours about that shit.
Yeah. So thank you for listening, guys. This has been a bit of a I don't know. I like this episode, but it was kind of all over the place, kind of a lot of different
Gaseous, not
topics.
solid.
Very gaseous, very turbulent flow happening here. But anyways, we'll see you guys later. Thank you for
Yeah,
watching.
thanks.